Toby Flood will aim kicks at goal at St James's Park this weekend, 22 years after being released by Newcastle United. The 60-cap England Rugby Union hero has revealed he was a budding Toon football star, and part of their school of excellence, when he was a kid. That was until ex-Magpies coach and former caretaker boss John Carver made the brutal decision to end his football dream, and unknowingly sent him on to a stellar career in the 15-man game. Saturday evening sees Flood and his Newcastle Falcons team play their annual fixture at the iconic home of Newcastle United, with Sale Sharks providing the opposition. The Big One, as it's billed, is expected to pull a crowd of 30,000 on a weekend where top-level club football is taking a break for internationals. Rafa Benitez reveals incredibly spooky Groundhog Day Newcastle stat. Former midfielder Flood is better at getting kicks over the bar than he was putting them under it. Image, Getty, as well as being a landmark game. It's a must-win relegation clash for Falcons. Flood said of his footballing days, "As a kid I went to Sunderland first. Newcastle came in and I was at the club until I was 11. I played centre mid or up front. I loved going forward, making the play. I was ball boy here at St James's a few times. I got Shaka Hislop's goalie gloves. Then John Carver let me go, which was probably the right decision. It didn't devastate me. I saw John recently at the golf club. I thought he wouldn't recognize me, but he came over, gave me a hug and said, 'I told you it was the right decision. I loved playing football, but it wasn't my life. I would go home and play volleyball, other sports. It wasn't the be-all and end-all. I fell out of love with football a bit.'" Carver, who went on to have a spell managing the Newcastle first team, decided to release Flood. Image, Reuters, "But I really threw myself into rugby. I could have stayed with football and been rubbish. I don't regret it at all. I don't think I'd have made it as a professional football player. There were kids better than me and I didn't want it as much as when I was 16 and doing rugby. At the Falcons Academy I decided if I was doing rugby, I would go hard at it. Last season, Newcastle were riding high in the Premiership top 4, but this term has been a struggle for coach Dean Richards' men. Flood puts it down to a brutal early fixture list packed with games against the top sides, and a dip in belief. He added, "Purely, it is confidence." England legend Richards is battling to keep his Falcons in rugby's Premiership. Image, Getty, "We won 2 or 3 last year where we had the right to win, but maybe didn't deserve to. This year, we have lost games we have deserved to win. Wasps at home, Saracens at home, Exeter at home, 5 or 6 games. We looked around and thought, hold on, we are bottom of the league. Teams start to think you are vulnerable and you question yourself. It is a vicious cycle. Is one of the most interesting things of a sportsman's psyche. Recent wins have given Falcons a chance to climb off the bottom, and Flood says a bumper Tyneside crowd will help." He added, "Last year, we spoke about managing the emotion of it because it was the first time a lot of players were going to play in front of 30 or 40,000 people. Back-to-back wins, including away to Wasps, above, have given rock-bottom Newcastle hope." Image, Getty, "We've talked about having a cup final mentality for the last few games, and being here makes it feel more like a cup final we're playing in. That brings pressure, but at the same time, it brings a level of excitement. This year has been much more stressful on the back of the fact that I don't want to be a part of things going wrong. I don't want to have my name attached to what could potentially happen at the end of the year. We don't want to be responsible for something that would be so negative for the club and the region. Remember watching Sunderland Till I Die, the recent Netflix documentary charting the Weirsiders' demise, and manager Chris Coleman was talking about being relegated, and he said, "It never leaves you. You realize the gravity of it and what we are playing for.